3 days one can be done, and then next thing you know, 5 days another one will kill
I
out.
really wanted
And
this
it's
to be
like,
private.
but I did y'all same time. It's like, okay, thank you for seeing fit. I need something sooner than the other. That's exactly what I thought. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, maybe this just means.
And then just paying attention to exactly like what you put in there. I always take a picture of before. I like when I write, set the candle,
Mm-hmm.
and then I take a picture of how it burned, and then keeping your own journal, keeping your own track
Okay.
of what your jars are doing or what your candles are doing, so you can see
Gotcha.
um, how you're progressing. That's the best word for me to say.
Okay.
How's it progressing? Um, so we're gonna make it real simple. I'm gonna actually post some stuff in the group today, um, letting you know. I like for y'all to all do y'all own research. So y'all see that I'm like, well, you know by now. I'll throw out some information, but I really want y'all to do your due diligence and do your own research. And then if you got questions, come back and ask me. Um, but I am gonna post like for key herbs and oils that I was just talking about that I might have posted. I think I posted it in the group, that list, that link, that break down the properties or the magical properties that's connected to each herb or oil. But I got like other information that I'm gonna specifically do for cinnamon. Like y'all gonna hear me talk about that all the time. I promise you, that's like one of my favorite oils to work with. It just has done really well for me. But it might do well for me because I deal with Oshun a lot. And that's one of her favorites. So if you deal with Oshun, there's certain oils that's going to correlate to her that she's going to gravitate to, or Het Haru, whichever energy you work with, like they going to gravitate to differently. So if you are like, tomorrow's more Oya based. So she's gonna have to maybe tap into some other oils that is gonna manifest better for her. So pay attention to that because if you're working with a specific deity, that energy will come in a little stronger and help your stuff manifest totally different. Um, and it's even interesting because I just met with my mentor yesterday and they were getting on me because it was like, because I'm Het Haru based and because I'm Ocean based and the energy, like the things that I do business wise are always derived from that energy. But that's why they always are successful because I'm like, and I never tie that really together. Interesting enough, I never, because when I'm in business mode, I just be in business mode. I just be thinking like, right plan. This is how I need to manifest it. Boom. But when I went back and thought about it and looked at some of the things that's connected to their energy, everything that I've done business wise is connected to their energy. That's why I never have no like real obstacles. My obstacles be more from that. Yeah. Well, it be structure because I'm very anal and I will overthink the hell out of something.
Yes, to a fly.
I do. When it comes to like my business, I'll sit there and like, yes, I will write, double write, triple write, check, make sure like there's just something like I don't like stuff being a certain way. So
And sometimes I be so deep in my zone to where, and just so perfectionist with that ugly Virgo trait sometimes, I could be writing down, like you said, and God forbid, I don't like the way the letter look on paper. Can't nobody even see my paper. But
because it ain't right to you, you'll go back and redo it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, boom, boom. Okay, boom, boom. And just.
And it's more with me with business and paperwork and certain, like, I'm very, like, all my, like, people that I mentor, like, on the fashion side, it's funny because they know I got contracts for everything. So that's how I am with that. But when it comes to me just creating, I just create. I know what I want it to look like. I teach from a perspective like there are no mistakes. That's how I teach in this too. It's like there are no mistakes. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's intentional for you. It resonates for you for a reason. So don't get caught up in. There's gonna be a lot of people that tell you, "Oh no, you should do this or you should only use this." No, you have to go and do your own trial and error to see what works for y'all. Because some people might like, did y'all do a carrier oil? Anybody bring? I mean, we got some here. So that'll be like almond oil, grapeseed oil, olive oil, any of that. Oils are like what'll be your base.
So what'd you call those oils again?
The carrier oil.
Carrier oil.
Peas. This is really specifically for our magic class. Um, I'll probably do another group later.
It's that damn smell.
Yeah.
The cinnamon.
Yeah, you see, I start peeling out my clothes, then I smell my hair like, what is
No,
this
it's the
like?
cinnamon and the the what you call it? Peas. So
Because I saw the smoke and I was like,
the
okay.
ones that's chiming in, y'all lucky because I'm actually doing this live, but it's really for our special group class. um, yeah. So the difference in the carrier oils, those are the weight and the consistency. What are you using it for? So when you're doing like right now, we're just gonna use basic grapeseed oil that you like in that oil. So I always suggest buy small bottles of each one, and then for something that's got like a that's really good for skin. Coconut oil, you can do that, but I don't like how dry. Hold on, I'm trying to see if we got some grapes here. Um, it just depends. So I just say buy different ones so y'all can figure out. Grapeseed is like one of my favorites to work with when it comes to like these jars or something that I know I'm not gonna really, use like that. I might just be putting it on my altar. Um, the almond oil is something that I like to use in my on my skin, but you have to pay attention to like what you're mixing it with. And the only reason I say that because it still has a little bit of a fragrance. So if you're using an oil that got a little bit of a scent to it, just kind of some people are because the whole point of using certain oils it triggers certain senses in us.
Yeah.
So if that's gonna be a trick like that combination might not settle well, you might not like that. So you want to just kind of like play it out and see what's gonna be the best one for you to use. Um, or whatnot. And in my opinion, I would just pick two. I would pick one that you're doing like your stuff that you sit on your altar, your stuff that you doing certain magic with, even your stuff that you do with your candles. The thicker oils adhere to the candles better when you're doing candle magic, um, compared to the thinner oils. But like stuff like coconut oil, they when it get cold, it hardens a different way. So you just got to pay attention to what you like and how quick you're working with stuff.
So which ones like do you suggest? Would you say are good for skin application if you wanted to like build one that can go
Almond
either
is
altar
my
or
favorite. The grapeseed is really a good neutral. That's why I like using it.
okay.
Like I feel like grapeseed, I could use it with everything.
All right.
Like it transforms through everything, so you don't have to um be
Be
overly
mindful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't have like a smell to it. Let me look in
Okay.
here. I was trying to
Trying to make a jar of red in a minute.
So
It's gonna be like scent.
And then y'all can see this is just, and you can find this really at your local grocer. Um, and then this one, I'm only doing halfway. So for those, these are the jars that I chose for our altar, but I'm only filling it halfway. You don't have to use that much if you don't want to. Um, it's all about what your intentions and what you feel is right. So it's almost like cooking. You got to think of like when you doing your magic, you got to look at it. It's like cooking. You know how much seasoning you want in it, how much. Don't overdo it. Don't be heavy handed. But find your own balance on what it is. Some people like to do jars like this with a combination of oils and like distilled water or some sort of altar water, moon water, whatever it is that you feel like. I'm not gonna do water in this jar in particular because we got so much other stuff that's going in here. but you can mix it with different stuff. Morning. Oh, peace. You're welcome. Um, by the time we finish it, I'll be done. So these are my go-to herbs all the time. Oh, she's pulling close. Um,
That's enough.
and like these are abundance jars. Um, so the abundance jars are not just for financial growth. This is gonna be for all growth and love, finances, stability. Because like I said, this Capricorn moon is all about.
Hey.
Oh,
Capricorn.
Yeah. Because this is not for short term. This is for long term and abundance. I'm gonna show y'all on here, and y'all can get whatever type of glitter y'all want. I always use when I'm dealing with money. I always either use green glitter or gold.
I think I'll go with the green.
Mm-hmm.
You just sprinkle it in the oil.
Yeah, so we're gonna just sprinkle it in the oil.
Okay.
And just put each one. So if you want to use green, that's the green one. And then I'm gonna give y'all coins to go ahead and put in there. These are coins that they're all over the world.
Okay.
And you're gonna put that in the bottom of your jar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and this was the.
So I'm just putting the coin in the oil. And you don't have to do a coin. You can do $1. You can do, you can add $1 to this if you want to, or $20, whatever it is that you want money wise. Yeah.
If you wanted any.
No, thank you. Did you want that one?
Yeah, I'll put some green and gold, some dollars and coins.
Mm-hmm. You, what you want on it, what you want in it, how you want it to manifest, all the different things, what you feel like you need more of. The things that you feel you need more of, then you might want to go heavier. Not too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
These is safer because you're just putting this on your altar. But if you feel like you need more love to come in your life, then that means you're going to use more of your cinnamon and your rose.
Okay.
If you need more protection, this is what this one is for, the vertebrae. I know y'all did find this. I got this.
Okay.
So you're going to use this because it's specifically for protection. It brings in financial abundance. It's for love. It's for libido as well. It's stuff that you only need a few of. So this is one of my herbs that I'm like, it's for everything. This is like how grandma used seasoning salt on everything. This is your seasoning salt. You can put this in everything. Your baths, your oils, anything you're doing, that's going to be your go-to. So after we already did the coin, you did your glitter. I don't want to do the herbs until last. So now you're going to do your oils. So I got one that I already mixed that I'm going to use in here. This is the things. You have to actually do, like I have a certain number that I do everything in. So I do all my stuff in 3s. So if you do 3s, then that's what you're going to do with your oil drops. 3 of each one. Unless there's something, like I said, that you know you need a little more of. So like if you know you need a little more heaviness in love, then you're going to go back and put a couple of extra drops. But try to stay in that synchronicity of whatever that number is. That's normally how I work. That's always worked for me. But once again, that's because I think I operate differently. I do look at it from, I'm setting intentions, because once I get everything in here, I'm going to set the intention for it, and then boom, that's it. So find that, and I always say if you're going to do a number, make sure that it's a number that's under 7. No more than 9. Like I would not go more than 9 in whatever your number is, as far as oils, pinches of herbs. because it's gonna make. We'll get into that numerology in a whole nother class.
Mhm.
But no more than 9. I would never go more than 9. So if you got your oils, you can start putting your oils in your jar, and just deciding on what number you want to put in there. The main 3 that I said use is cinnamon, um, the patchouli. So your cinnamon is going to be what bring in your financial abundance. Your cinnamon is going to bring in love, protection. Like I said, it's a really light. If you didn't have all of the ingredients that you needed for your jar, you really could do grapeseed oil. Um, with abundance jars, I just love for glitter to be in there because it make it look pretty, and it makes you remind. Oh, you need a little dropper, and then with the but then you want to do patchouli because patchouli is for grounding. Patchouli is for like spiritual protection. It's gonna be for grounding. It's gonna keep you focused. That's what we're using the patchouli and the sandalwood for. It's for spiritual grounding. For
Which one did you say was for the money? Because I remember you said the
cinnamon.
was. Okay, so that's money, love, and protection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cinnamon. All the good stuff
I see.
that I have on your list.
It was orange.
Orange is really good. Also for abundance. Dealing with business specifically. Orange is a really great oil for y'all to have, for y'all that have businesses and our entrepreneurs. Especially if you're a Leo. That's one of our main essential oils. If you're a Leo, is to use orange in a lot of the stuff that you. Um, abundance. Yeah. So it's a good. We put in a lot of abundance, overall abundance connection oils. Orange is just a really good one. I ain't want to click off of here. So outside of that, and then our frankincense, I just want to make sure I was saying everything. So the frankincense, y'all already know, that's like one of the oldest oils ever. It's in the Bible and everything. And the frankincense is still like about spiritual growth, spiritual protection, clarity. That's one of the biggest things that I want to make sure that we're focusing on. So when we put in abundance, this is like I said for health. The orange is good for health as well. So that's why I'm like, it's certain ones that I pick just to put in this jar, so we can make sure that there's a balance of everything that we need. And then with the herbs, y'all already know the rose is for like self-love, bringing in love. Anything dealing with that particular energy, the heart chakra energy in particular, that's what that's for. There's a long list. I put it in the group about what this Vertiview is for. And then alfalfa is just an amazing healing herb. So this is for us to make sure that we are being healthy this year. It also brings in money. So really good herb to have. Alfalfa is a really good mental herb as well. It's a brain food. So make sure that y'all, even if you look up the healing properties of the herbs that y'all buy, because y'all can make teas with it, right? Like you put these in a jar, make teas. You need to be really infusing yourself with everything that you use.
Because that's how I use mine. I have a big box now that I just dump them all in because it's easier to keep them organized there and just kick the box under the bed unless I need it. But that's all I do with mine.
Just put it in
drinking them in teas.
Yeah.
Like just the teas and agave.
And if you know what they're for, like your spiritual baths, y'all can be using these in. Like this is almost like you should have a cabinet that's just full of herbs that are specific for your whole total life. It shouldn't be just, one thing for this and one thing. No, these are things that y'all can use for so many different dynamics that it's ridiculous. Like, especially if you have core ones. That's why I look for things that got multiple like dynamics.
Yeah.
That way it's cost effective too. Because this could be expensive when you really get knee deep. You got to find the things that you can buy in bulk, and I know I can use it for multiple things that way.
Oh, I didn't think about that because I have like the Sweetwater 21 herbs, and those
Yeah.
are like the lavender, the rose, and
Mhm.
sandalwood, and it's just a whole mixture of.
Yeah, so you need to be looking at like.
Quarter 21.
So when I do a lot of stuff, like if I know it's something that like abundance, I make abundance oil all the time. So I'll go ahead and mix all my oils together. That way, when I'm making something specific, if I'm doing candle magic, whatever it is that I'm doing, I'll go ahead and have like I'm on my last little vial, but I'll go ahead and mix it together, and that way I can just go ahead and go through, and it'll save me time. But do I suggest to do that all the time? No. Because some stuff you're going to need more intention in it. And like I said, if you know specifically with your jar or your candle that you're doing something specific. No, it's similar to the Sacred Goddess group. Everybody asks me, is this the Sacred Goddess group? If you're doing something specific, like with my candle magic, I don't never really do. It's certain stuff that I specifically work on. So if I know like this time I was doing specifically for my business that I'm getting ready to launch. So everything was correlated to what I need to bring in for that. So that's the same thing for y'all. It's like if you know that it's something that you want to put more intention and more heavier energy in, like when you call me about, you needed focus. Okay, well then there's certain oils that you need to be working with. And then it's giving you, I'm more hands on with a lot of stuff. So I like to make sure that I'm transmuting my energy into whatever I'm doing. Instead of just being, this is my fast, I ain't got time. I ain't got time to do all of that. We got to go ahead and light this candle, or we got to go ahead and put this on because I'm getting ready to go into a meeting. This is my go-to.
Okay.
That's the sandalwood.
Yeah. Well, no, this is my own mixture.
Okay.
So this is like all the oils that I had on that list mixed. And then the only extra oil that I have in here is actually black coconut. And that coconut is a combination of, because I work with Yemaya and Oshun a lot. So sweet stuff, sweet smelling stuff, I always try to make sure I'm adding it in to give it that extra boost. If you know you work with a certain deity or a certain energy more so, add that to your jar. Add that to your candle work. Because, or if you know it's somebody specifically that you're asking to come in to help you, then add it too. If y'all not scared about working with deities and all that energy, definitely this is Elekba's year. So this is a great time to build that relationship with Elekba. Just be prepared because he's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yes. Elekba's, he's a
dreams.
masculine. It depends. He's came to people different ways, and I've heard different stories. So Elekba is the trickster.
Oh yeah. He sent the fake Anthony Hamilton to me on Instagram.
Oh God! I'll be like, this is what I want.
Fake Anthony Hamilton. So you
So-
know how much I love that man. Why are you gonna send me a fake Anthony
Right.
Hamilton? You
So-
play too much.
You gotta just pay attention. But I love working with Elekba. Elekba has opened up so much for me in all aspects.
That's him.
Yeah, I love Elekba.
No. That's him.
Oh.
I didn't know who.
That's
I
who
just
you've
see the
been.
face.
Okay. And I love, like, he's one of my favorite energies to work with. One of my favorites. Not knocking, because I'm Oshun all day, die hard. But when I started working, because everybody kept giving me mixed reviews, and I was like, well, whatever. I was like, that's the energy that kept coming to me to work with. And when I started, it opened up more stuff as far as dealing with my ancestors, as far as dealing with my spirit guides. There's just a lot more things that I feel like he opened up the gateway for. And that's what he is. He's the gatekeeper. So this year is about opening those doors to what y'all need to get into. So you've been holding out. I know you got some stuff that y'all, because we got
Articulated.
But he's been showed up on like 3 of my past readings I've done over the week.
right?
Yep.
I
At
think
one
we
point,
talked about that.
it showed him at the crossroads, and he was forging it out with fire. So you couldn't completely go through because only one way wasn't
so that was
completely
supposed
done.
to be.
One was straight. On the second one, he was we're complete. And you just see him dousing water over his tube that he used to dredge it with. And the last time I saw him again, he was just sitting chilling, like, okay, you gonna move or what?
Right, like, what you doing?
Right. It's like, you going what? I mean, I said I'm done.
I always think of a by like that uncle that's sarcastic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
speaking truth.
yeah, but we just be telling you like it is. Like, look.
It's like, I'm done.
Oh, you don't want to go? Oh, like, okay. Oh, well, don't go. Like, he has a very interesting energy.
Yeah, he does.
He has a very interesting. So I always honor him. He's like, if I'm not honoring nobody else, I probably sometimes honor him more than I honor Oshun. But I feel like I walk in Oshun, so I don't have to do that. Like, I don't have to focus on her so much. Because everything I do, it manifests her. So, once you got your glitter, your oils, if y'all you ain't got no droppers though. You have a dropper for oils? No. So y'all can do that at home, but you can just sit there, set the intentions with the oils that you know that you want to go in.
Okay.
If y'all need something extra to go in there, just like I said, make sure that you're paying attention to the number that you're putting in there. Then my next thing I would do is like put my pinches of herbs, and I do the same thing. I put 3 pinches of each one.
Okay.
And when I'm putting my pinches of herbs, I'm definitely, like I said, I always speak whatever it is that I'm putting in there, and what I need it to do. And then I go back and I put the intentions on everything else.
I had 2 that said rose, but they look different. I think they
One might be a rose hip.
What's the difference?
A rose.
Okay, this is a rose.
That look like something.
That's
Unless
the
it's a red
alfalfa.
rose.
Are we using that alfalfa?
Yeah.
And then it's just I don't know what this one is.
It's probably that reddish pink one. That's rose.
So both of these say rose.
That one looks interesting. That don't look like rose to me.
No, rose hips. So I see
If
that.
you think it's
Oh,
rose
this
hips.
says pose. What is that?
No, these are rose hips.
Now,
Yeah.
what's that one?
So this is the one you want to use.
Okay, so it's
Rose
hip.
hip is good too, though, but it's not for what we doing with these.
Oh.
Can you see this?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm actually gonna add me some cinnamon on top of this. Sweeten this up. Just a little more. So you can put money in there. You don't have to put money in there. This is what my jar looks like thus far, y'all. So you can put, I got my coin in the bottom. You can put other elements in here as far as like I said, I work with certain deities. I will probably add a seashell for Yemiya because I feel like I need more nurturing energy this year.
Oh, yeah. Drop a couple of calories in my
Yeah, some calories. Whatever symbolism that you feel like that represents the energy that you want to work with specifically this year, or you feel like you want to bring more into your life, you can add those dynamics in your jars as well. Oh, here.
Thank you.
So I put the coin in there because that coin, for me, represents international money. That I want to make sure that I'm bringing in connections that are international, abundance that's international. These coins in particular were brought back to me from a friend who was in the military, so they done been everywhere. And then this is actually $1 that came from a donation. So I'm putting it in my jar as well because I want to make sure that I'm keeping my intent and genuine heart pure.
What's this? It was in another package.
Interesting. Oh, Urva. This is Urva, like Uva Ursa. It's like a bladder and kidney and it's the reproductive system. It's a really good herb for that. Specifically for bladders and kidneys. Like if you ever have a bladder infection, that's the herb you want to go
So I
to.
can see, like, if you wanted to do one for female wellness,
Right,
you
you can put those
and mix that
exactly
together.
perfect. Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
And see, that's how, like, what I want y'all to get, like, when you know these herbs and what they represent, even when you doing your magic, you are, like, if you trying to heal somebody specifically that is having issues in fertility or having issues with their bladder or whatever, those are the herbs that you want to go back in and use for magic as well. So it's not just for your internal take. These are the herbs that you also intention, because that's what their purpose is for. So you want to make sure you're connecting the purpose of those herbs and oils with your magic. It shouldn't just be that you're randomly, I don't want to say randomly, but like just, using something that doesn't correlate to what it is that you're doing. So those would be a good, that's a good herb to use. But health-wise, it has a lot of great benefits as far as what we're doing.
That one is oh yeah, I like some of that. Thank you.
So let's just pretend, because I got some more stuff that I want to put in my jar when I get home. But let's say that that's all I'm putting in there. I would keep everything done. That's all my stuff. And then it's about setting the intention. So for me, it's all about, like I said before, put it into your heart. Visualize everything that you want to come and bring in. Make sure that you're going through the emotion of how it feels, what it looked like, how you seeing it, like really experience it. It's almost like that concept, like in the book we was talking about last time. It's like, go drive the car. So when you in the car, how the car smell, what it whip like, everything. So when you are visualizing how you're manifesting this in your life, you know how you manifest it. It's simple.
So the only one missing is the
Yeah, the vertical.
Oh, here. I was supposed to be here. Let me give y'all that because I know y'all don't have it. That way you can go ahead.
And this one is for what again?
Everything. It's good. Like, okay, so that particular herb that I gave you, that one in particular, like if you're doing a banish, like let's say you feel like somebody done put a hex on you or sent some negative energy towards you, that's one of the herbs that you can use that by itself and it will bind any energy. So it's good for binding energy, trapping stuff. I know you're gonna look, you probably want your own bag.
I use that word all the time.
Yeah, so it's really good for binding stuff, for breaking up stuff, as far as like things that you might need to release. So that's what I used it for in this particular jar, for the release of anything that is hindering my growth.
Okay.
So that is good for sensuality, but sexuality, I shouldn't even say, like, it's good for sex. If you need some sex in your life, you need more sex, that's the herb that you want to have.
Just dump the bag.
Yeah, right. Like, just give me a half a jar. But it's good for money, bringing in money. It's really good protection herb, though. That's the main thing. It's got a really high vibrational spiritual energy to it. So that's one of my favorites to use. And you can drink it. So that's not a herb that you got to be scared of. Like, you can use it as a tea too.
Oh.
And but that include, like, it's good for increasing libido. So it's gonna make you more sexual. Have more clarity. It's gonna make you have, like, just you're gonna have a different experience with that. Let me say that. Thank you.
I wrote it up here. Okay.
Oh, and the crystal. So you have to decide what crystal you want to put in there.
Mm-hmm.
My personal crystals that I'm putting in there is a pyrite. I'm actually doing my pyrite, my citrine, and I'm doing it just depends because there's a couple of things. I don't know. I know I'm doing my citrine, and I know I'm gonna probably do my pyrite, and I might do like a rose quartz. That'll probably be the three that I'm gonna put in there. But you can do one. It don't have to be a whole bunch of them. I'm extra, so I'll probably have all. And then normally, what I normally do with my jars, whatever the main crystal that I want to like really like, so it might be the tourmaline will probably sit on top.
Okay.
So when I put it on my altar, I'm gonna after I done set everything, put all my
So
energy
can you
into
like
it.
crazy glue it there if you wanted to?
Yes, because that's what mine is glued on.
Okay.
All my jars. I normally do. I don't do crazy glue, but I do like a E6000. So
Yeah.
I normally do that. Set it on there, and then when anytime you're doing your moon rituals, this is the time to take these jars out and make sure you're recharging your jars. Okay, so that way it's getting that recharging that energy. If you feeling like you being more challenged in areas in your life, that's that time you pull this jar out and make sure that you're meditating with this jar, you're setting intentions with this jar, or you're asking, for guidance or clarity from your jar, or just pulling it out in your altar sacred space so you can make sure that that energy that you initially set when you were in the right vibration is in there to pull you back into that space or recenter yourself. That is it with that. That's the basic. Having it like you're taking the time to build your oils up. It sounds like y'all both probably are on a good start. So just take the time to like just when you can build up your oils, build up your herbs. Like I said, you don't have to overthink it, but just so you can play around to see what herbs and oils work best for you. And because I record everything that I'm doing, I'll go back and record it and see like how is this really working for me? How is this helping me? Am I seeing a change? Am I seeing a difference? Um, Most of the time the answer is yes, but I know a lot of that is because, like I said, I focus on what my intentions is when I'm doing my magic. If I'm in a low vibrational space, I try not to do any type of like I don't care what is going on. I'm like I'll sit still and make sure that I'm getting my vibrations in the right space before I do anything. So just pay attention to that and how it's working for your manifestation. But my biggest thing is like record everything, document everything because by the end of the year you should grow. By the end of the year you should be able to look at stuff and say, ooh, like my 7-day candles probably burn in like 2 days.
Yep.
So yeah,
I'm slowly coming down to that. I'm like right now, 3 and 4 days.
Yeah. So
Like two.
God, yeah, man. Oh, I'm
Still nervous.
sorry.
yeah, y'all need to work on that. That's what y'all need to be asking for this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna go home and drop some lavender in mine for just
Yes, lavender,
Yeah.
lemongrass,
Oh,
really
wow.
good.
Now I'm drawn to that.
I love lemongrass. Lemongrass, I tell you, it's so funny. When I used to do music, I used to always put a line about lemongrass when I'm talking about like love per se. And I used to always be like, lemongrass baby. Because that is one of the things that I was like, if you are a couple and y'all are bickering a lot or you having a certain energy, run that lemongrass bath. That way when y'all get in the tub, it's calming y'all nerves. It's making you escape into a different space. That way you can communicate differently. Because a lot of times, especially when we fiery, then it's like we're not thinking clearly, we're not sitting still, we're not being in the space that we need to be in. So you want to make sure that you are being still enough to be able to communicate how you're supposed to communicate and not
No crystal.
I can't wait to get home and drop some crystals up in it though.
Yes, crystals. Anita, what was your name? Say protection crystal should be what, or whatever it is that you know you want to mainly focus on. What is it that you want to focus on? What is it that you want? Oh, your jar look pretty.
I know.
Let me show you everybody your jar. Your jar is pretty.
So
Look at this. It looks so pretty.
Put some money, something I get
Mm-hmm.
home, and drop some lodestone because they like to attract things.
I gotta go back and look and see what number yours was. But yeah, whatever it is, like say you want to focus more on love, and you're gonna put your rose quartz on top. If you want to focus more on protection, you're gonna put that. You want to focus more on money, you're gonna put that on top. Whatever is gonna be the main thing that you feel like you lacking, that you want to see more abundance in, that's what you're putting on top.
And it's like smoky quartz, one of those that can pretty much pull any.
You're gonna intensify the powers that you set in your
All
jar.
right.
So clear quartz will be really good. That are actually in my class, go ahead and DM them to me, and I will talk to y'all later.